So thank you for staying with us. And right now we're going to be joined, of course, by a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, Barrister Vincent Otaokpokpo, to talk about, electoral forms and the tinted glass permit. Good afternoon, Barrister Vincent.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So before we begin the conversation on electoral reforms, can you tell us what are your thoughts on the issue bordering this tinted glass permit?
Yes, thank you. The issue with respect to the tinted glass permit, which the Inspector General of Police and the police have made to be an annual ritual, there should be an annual renewal of same. The Nigerian Bar Association, through the section on business law and development section on the public interest and the development law, had approached the court in a federal high court in Abuja here to challenge the constitutionality, the legality, or otherwise of the such policy of the police force. Because the police seems to rely on the Motor Vehicle Tinted Glass Prohibition Act of 1991, which happens to be a decree passed by the military juntas in those days. Because the objective behind it, that the military wanted to, in a military regime, they want to centralize everything. They want to checkmate people that are in apprehension and fear of possible attack and possible takeover. So the NBA has approached the court for court to determine whether such law is justifiable in a reasonable society, is a law justifiable in a democratic society like Nigeria under Section 44 of the Constitution. Because the policy which seems to violate the rights of citizens of Nigeria, the right to dignity of human person, you can see the police people stopping people on the street of Lagos, asking them questions as the case may be. It appears to quite undignified. It also breaches the right of the people as to privacy, to badge on people and to just stop people and start asking them about tinted permit, even their right to freedom of movement. You can see the CP Lagos GMO, which I know should, that some of the vehicles have already impounded. When matter is already in court, NBA has approached the court and the police authority through the legal department in Abuja here have been served and properly served. So it is expected that the police supposed to be in a constitutional democracy like ours must respect the pendency of the action in court. And we have said, stand with that number, that in a democracy like ours, rule of law must triumph not only in our legal system, but in our body politics. Parties to a litigation must accept decision of the court, orders of the court, in good faith, subject only to appeal processes available in law. And no party should employ self-help to disparage or disrespect the order of the court. When a matter is pending before the court, parties, without even the court making the order, are to maintain status quo. Police is a respected institution created under Section 214, 215, and 216 of the Constitution, and they are not supposed to be seen to disparage, disrespect, or cause opprobrium to the order of the court. The order of the court given by the Federal High Court in Warri, where one John Martins, a legal practitioner, approached the court, and the court gave an order that the police should maintain status quo. And the MPS said the order has been served, but the police are claiming they have not been served, which is normal thing we see in a police arrangement. Have not been served, we have been served at the case may be. But beyond this order, we are a party to the matter pending before the Federal High Court in Abuja here, filed by the Nigerian Bar Association, that has the responsibility to promote rule of law, constitutionalism, and judicial process in Nigeria. And you are a party. So the government of the country of Nigeria has been termed government of laws, not of men. The Supreme Court of the United States emphasized this in the case of Marbury and Madison, where Thomas Jefferson said, the government of the United States has been emphatically termed government of laws, not of men. It will cease to be addressed in this high apparition if the government fails to respect the fundamental right of citizens and the constitutional democracy as enshrined in the Constitution. And this is applicable to Nigeria. The government of President Tinubu, because under that section, the IGP is an appointee of the president under Section 216 of the Constitution and takes directive from the president. The president should call the IGP to order There's nothing that you cannot achieve at the end of the day by your tinted permit policy. You can still achieve it. But when parties have subscribed their grievances to approach court of law, respect it. The Judiciary Supreme Court by Oputa JAC, in the case of Ojukwu against military governor of Lagos State, the Supreme Court emphatically state that judiciary is necessary agency of the rule of law. That judiciary has been given power under section 6 sub 6b of the Constitution, determination of dispute and questions and agitation between individual and the other, individual and government, and within government and other agencies of government, as the case may be.
So
this is a democracy. This is rule of.
Yeah. So, Barrister Vincent, are you saying that the reason why, do you think that the reason why the Nigerian police is denying receiving any court order, stopping the enforcement of the tinted glass, will be the fact that, you know, the case is still pending in the court?
Yes. I'm trying to say that they cannot say they have not been served with the court order issued by the Federal High Court in Delta State, Warri, yesterday. But what about the matter filed by the Nigerian Bar Association in Abuja here at the Federal High Court, of which you are a party to the suit? Nigerian Police Force is a party. Inspector General of Police is a party, and the proper department to handle legal matter for the IGP is the legal department in Abuja here, domiciled here. So you cannot say you have not been served, and because of that, you can begin to take law into your hand. You can begin to go to street and enforce the policy that's already sub judice. What do you mean by sub judice? Judiciary is being trampled upon in Nigeria. Judiciary is being relegated to the background. A judge will give order under his long hand, and the police will not enforce it. That's why we have been clamoring for amendment of Constitution to create a special force for the judiciary for the enforcement of the order called court martial. In America, they have court martial. If judiciary or court gives order, they don't go to the police begging them cap a hand to enforce the order. Police will choose which one to enforce and which one not to enforce. Let us have such order here, so that when the order is given, the court martial under the judiciary, headed by somebody in a rank of commissioner of police or AIG, as the case may be, they will enforce the order, even if it means to arrest the IG. They will arrest IG. I want to use this opportunity to call the president of Nigeria to direct the IGP to respect the pendency of that matter filed by the all-important agency body like the Nigerian Bar Association. I want to call on the chairman of Police Service Commission, as a matter of urgency, as a matter of duty, as a matter of respect to the rule of law, constitutionalism, and the due process, to please call the IGP to order, call the officers in the Lagos, the CPs and AIGs to order. There's nothing you cannot achieve. Let the court determine. It will not take time. You will see, do whatever you want to do if the court permits you and affirm what you are doing, because the law in which you are claiming to do all these things, it cannot be a law reasonable, justifiable in a democratic society. It tinted permit a prohibition act of 1991 filed by the military. And the Constitution has given right to citizens under Chapter 4 of the Constitution, and those rights are sacrosanctly indispensable and all ordained by the Constitution. Wow. So there must be a balance which the police have to be placed here. IGP need to be careful, and DGP need to be smart at this point, especially when Nigeria is being tested globally. Right. Let us respect our rule of law. Let us respect our courts. What kind of thing is this? What kind of country is this?
Vincent, thank you for the insight concerning, the tinted permit, and you've already mentioned that this particular case study is with the court, and we're still pending hearings from the court. Now let's move to electoral reforms matter. What are the legal challenges that could arise from? Of course, we see that a lot of things are being slow. So what are the legal challenges that could arise from the slow implementation of INEC's 2023 recommendations ahead of the 2027 elections?
Quite a number of recommendations have been made by the European Union monitoring team, by the African Union monitoring team, by the ECOWAS monitoring team, or what have you. Several recommendations have been made. The problem is all about implementation. So we have to establish and put in place a legal regime that will not only checkmate the activities of INEC, but to guarantee free, fair credible electoral process where Okeke on the street of Enugu, Musa on the street of Kano, and Adeola on the street of Lagos will be able to go out freely and cast his vote without anticipation that his vote will count. So we cannot achieve this without trying to unbundle some technical and some legal issues that's still restricting the free, fair, and credible electoral process in Nigeria. And one of such issues are one, like the European Union have itemized, appointment of the INEC chairman. How can you justify this in a democratic society that a chairman that's supposed to man the important electoral body like INEC will be appointed by the president, and the same person that is appointed is to conduct the election of the president, which the president will participate, as the case may be. He cannot be able to be fair. He cannot be judged. The detachment and objectivity may not be there. So there is need to amend the provisions of Section 154 of the Constitution, which has created INEC, and transfer the power of appointment of INEC chairman, national commissioners to the NJC. NJC will be able to advertise the such offices, and the suitable Nigerians will be able to subscribe, and the nominees will be selected. 3 nominees of each will be sent to National Council of State, not to the president, who will now be able to shortlist one person and send to the Senate for confirmation. Beyond this point, the amendment has to be done also with respect to qualification. What we have in the Constitution presently is that you want to contest the office of the president, the governor, Senate, or House of Rep or Assembly, you possess minimum of WAEC or its equivalent. No. All the countries of the world has gone beyond this point. Let us increase it at least. For one person to vie for such office, the person must present satisfactory evidence of primary, secondary, and university education, which must be verified by the institution so claimed. So there's need to amend Section 65 of the Constitution for Senate and House of Rep, Section 106 of the Constitution for House of Assembly of a State, Section 131 of the Constitution, that is for President, and Section 177 of the Constitution for the Governor. As the case may be. Then there should be amendment as to participation of the people in the electoral process. We have recorded the voter apathy. People now abstain, people don't go to vote again, and you have less than 10% of people voting their leaders. No. There should be an amendment to say that in every election, at least 30% of the registered voters must participate and voted in the election. That if there is they did not reach to 30%, the election should be cancelled, and as the case may be. And whoever is to be declared winner, be for presidential or governorship or whatever in the election, must score at least 50 plus 1% of all the vote cast in the election to guard against what played in the 2023 general election. Beyond this point, Section 135 of the Constitution needs to be amended as to the tenure of the president. Presently, it's for 4-year tenure to be renewable only once. But we are projecting that it should be amended for 5-year single tenure for president of Nigeria, which ought to be rotated among the six geopolitical zones. And if the occupant of the offices, the president dies or incapacitated to carry out the functions of offices by reason of incapacitation or affirmity of body or mind or body, a person from the geopolitical zone should be able to elected to complete the term of the office, as the case may be. Okay. Then diaspora voting. People of Nigeria are lived everywhere in the world. And when you, at the time of election and voting, they bring out their money to sponsor a lot of this in Nigeria, development and what have investment. But when it's time to vote, you exclude them. So there should be amendment to include, for not only to register those living abroad, but they should be able to vote on election day. In the last 2022 Lebanon election, the Lebanese across the world, we are registered and voted up to 225,000 Lebanese. They voted in their last presidential election in 2022. Nigeria can do it, especially when the Minister of Interior now said that you can walk into any embassy in the world and get your e-passport within 4 to 24 hours. Now, the issue that has to do with the electronic transmission of results need to be talked about. Right. So currently, Section 60 of the Constitution, which has to do Section 60 of the Constitution, which has to do with that, Section 65 need to be amended, Section 64 and Section 62 of the Constitution, so as to get technical glitches, which INEC predicated the failure in the presidential election on.
Right.
What is technical glitches? Somebody switched it on, or they were off, or there was a thunderstorm that struck.
Right,
so we need to guarantee this process by electronically transmitting our result to ensure that give hope to the people, as the case may be. There are other areas that are conclusion of all electoral process before the swearing in.
I apologize for interjecting, but because of time, we have to cut this short. But thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and giving us, your legal insight as to the situation of the tinted parliament and electoral matters. Thank you so much.